Okay.
Okay.
Well, Randy, go.
Okay.
It takes you, and I posted the link on the page as well. So let's see.
All right. Hey.
Now.
All right. A little bit. So can you guys, I'm trying to learn more about where this gets confusing. Can you guys tell me where you went and what happened?
Hey, Carlos, how'd you guys get on?
I went to the original email that you had sent, and it said, click here to join. I clicked there, and it brought me to, I guess, to a different Hangout than this one.
So how did you get to this one?
A few moments ago, and there was a new link, and
Seth is joining.
Oh, Ella?
Yes.
I can see you on this other link.
You can.
Yeah, I can see you. I can't see anybody else now, but I can see you.
Okay. Do you hear Stacy if she talks?
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. So
I can't see her. No.
do you see? So you don't? Do you see Carlos and Emily and Seth?
On one of the hangouts, I see all those people. I can see Jenny and Seth down at the bottom of my page. But on this other tab where I see you, I can't see any of those other people.
Go ahead and close out that other tab. And Alice, you might.
Where I see everybody's on there, where the chat's going.
yeah, I was on that other one where the chat was going and left it, and now I'm on a different one.
Yeah, I'm on both actually, so I can shut down the one with the chat.
If you could tell those people if there's anybody else left in there to come over here, send them the new link, paste the new link in. That'd be great.
Is that the link you sent me that I sent him?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll just paste it in there.
Okay.
All right.
There's a sound and it jumps.
Oh, I see the other one with you. Yep.
Who was on that other one? Randy and
All right.
person.
So this is still only like 4 of us out of like 30. So I don't know, but there was only 7 people that RSVP'd, so I don't know if it's coming tonight or if everybody's really having a hard time getting on. I'm trying to check email and stuff.
I mentioned to Ellis I'm going to have to leave a bit early, but if you don't mind sending the link out, that would be great.
It will be the same exact link.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the great part about filling out.
Stacy, on this other one, it's okay. All right.
And also on the original email that I sent, it said, you know, here's a link to go watch it on YouTube. It's the Power Bar YouTube, and you type in Power Bar Crew. You can find all of the videos that we've done.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
So Jenny's joined us. Is that right?
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and get us started. So, Ellis, when we did the original broadcast, had a very eloquent message about you guys and how meaningful your time was. But we'll just move through that so we can get it going. But Ellis, for us again.
Yeah, I will. Father, thank you. Thank you for technology. And I guess it just continues to give us things to trust you for. Father, thank you for just for your son Jesus, and that you've called us to represent you and to tell others about you. And I pray that you would use what Stacy's going to share with us tonight, just to help the new staff take further steps, and so they really can hit the ground running. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. All right, guys. Well, we are going to get started with some of this stuff. So, all right. So, up in the top part of your Hangout, it will be in two different places. It'll either be over on the left. You kind of mouse over. There's a Q&A, and so you can type in questions there, or up at the top, there will be the 3x3 grid of the little squares that are kind of the Google Apps logo, and so you can click on that, and the Q&A will be one of the options, and you can do either of those, or I'll just stop. So for all of us that are live, which is everybody, you can just stop, and we'll just ask some questions live as we go. But I'll do it like we did before, where we'll kind of stop in segments. So we'll cover a segment and then we'll get started. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you. So you might want to make it as big as you can. Also, sometimes I know people experience a little lag time, and so sometimes it's easier just to close out your Hangout and then open it back up if you have that happening to you. So just want to remind us of the website, mpdandsocialmedia.wordpress.com, that will have basically all of this in written and video form. And then, of course, you can come back and look at this again, too. So tonight we're going to start a little bit talking more about social media, and we'll get into MPDX some, but we'll spend more of our time on social media. And so we're going to start a little bit by talking about the overall strategy of how you use social media to communicate about MPD. And the big overall principle is that the same principles of MPD that you will follow for all of your other MPD activity also apply to digital media. And the biggest part of that is every man's ask is no man's ask. As you learned about how to do ministry partner development this last week, one of the things we talk about is that it's not the most effective thing to get up in front of a church and say, hey, I'd like to invite every one of you to be on my personal ministry team and to give $50 a month, thank you very much, and then walk away. You need to actually meet with those people individually and have that interaction with them individually. So while there's great things that you can do to stand up in front of a church to move towards having those individual appointments, that's not the place that you want to do actual asks for people to join your team. And so in the same way, social digital media is not the best place to just put an overall net out there. Facebook post that says, hey, I'd love to invite you to support me for $50 a month. Instead, you want to use social media to enhance your activities and to help you engage with people and get into those one-on-one appointment situations. The next part is that a well-rounded, complete social digital media strategy is a full-time. A lot of times when staff think about communicating to their ministry partners about their ministry, they feel like they need to create what they would see a company creating. Facebook posts, Instagram, tweets, emails, your prayer letter, and the reality is that that's a full-time job. And none of you join staff to do that job for your personal ministry. And so being able to take steps back and the different things that I've shared before and we'll share tonight, and just what are some things that I can apply, and not putting pressure to try to create this incredibly well-rounded social media strategy. On the other hand, it's really difficult to care for and connect with all the people in your life without using social media well. We estimate that staff have 4 to 6 more circles of people to care for and connect with in their life than the average person. And those circles will just continue to grow the longer you're on staff with Crew. or a missionary in any organization. I have students that that I talked to when I had students that were part of my ministry when I was on campus 14 years ago and 12 years ago, and those students, I'm still in touch with them. I still connect with them, and the longer you're on campus, the bigger and bigger and bigger that circle grows. The same thing with your team of ministry partners. And so something like social media allows you to get glimpses into people's lives where you can see, wow, this person lost their job, or they lost a family member, or wow, this person just had an incredibly great thing happen, and you engage with them and connect with them in those moments that you just won't be able to do without using social media. And so you really need to have a balance of the two. So you need to be purposeful, you need to be realistic, and you need to use it as part of your overall strategy to connect with your ministry partners and to cultivate new partners, and not as a means and an end in of itself. The last thing about our overall strategy is that what you share online can easily become public. Privacy filters on Facebook and other things like that can be really fantastic in helping you to control who sees things in your social media circles. But one of the things you always have to remember is that at any time, anybody can always do a screenshot and then share that. Now, are most people going to do a screenshot and share it? Absolutely not. But you always need to have in mind that what you share eventually could become public, even though it probably won't be. You need to be, and so because of that, you need to be wise. Be wise in what you share. Be wise in how you share it. Remember that needing to really think through some of those things in ways that you probably didn't before. And then that you're representing the Lord and crew. Sometimes we have a lot more freedom to just kind of start off on social media when we're not representing somebody else. But we're always representing the Lord and crew to the people that are seeing those. So those aren't things to be scared of, just things to keep in mind as you share and post online. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is creating a web presence. And we talked a little bit about this the first. We talked about setting up your Give site, but I didn't really camp out on why. And so, in our day and age, you look up a restaurant online before you go to it. You look up a church online before you go to it. You really look up everything online, and having something online that gives you credibility that you are who you say you are is very important. But what that could be a lot of different things. So the first one is, they talked a lot about the Give site. It sits in the middle of Cru.org, and it gives a lot of credibility that you're part of this big organization at Cru that somebody could possibly want, as well as a little taste of information about you and a way to give directly. And so that is of itself all you need to set up. But a lot of people want to set up a website. And so, and then a lot of people want to set up a blog. And so what is the difference between a website and a blog? The main difference, in all honesty, is how often it's updated. A website is meant to be more of a static piece of information that people can come back to, versus a blog is something that's ongoing, that's continually developed and updated. And before I do new staff trainings, I often go online and Google Cru blogs, and I usually have to get pages and pages in before I find a blog that has been updated within the last year. I have this idea of I need to create a blog so I can communicate about my ministry, and they do a ton of work getting their blog set up, making it look nice, and then post a couple of times, and then it kind of goes by the wayside, because blogging is a lot of work. I actually blog for elite level gymnastics, and when I am in season of blogging, I'll spend up to 2 hours a night to post daily content. And so it's just a lot of work, and it's probably not what you came on staff to do. And so I usually encourage people who just really loves to write about things and is really talented at that. It's probably best to stick with a Give site and maybe the next step to a website. But I would master sending out your prayer letters, communicating with people in. This is actually true for some other sites, like creating a Facebook page for their ministry. But the same thing, the way that Facebook algorithms work, you have to post so much content and get every other week. Instead, do it when you have something to communicate. So the last is Facebook, finding your ministry partners, making lists, and sharing things about your ministry. So this is a great way to communicate with your current partners. And the first part is finding your ministry partners. You'll be shocked at how many of them are on Facebook. Well, maybe you won't have content enough for people to act by going to your friends and looking at their friends. Go to that person that knows everybody in your church and look at their friends, and then from there. And then sometimes even just ask your ministry partners, hey, are you on Facebook? And I skipped that. So let me show you really quick. So you're only looking at those people you're trying to connect with, and just take 5 minutes, a couple times a week, to go through that list of people and interact with posts, like their posts, post on their wall, look at who's on, chat with them, and use that to continue to build your relationship with your MP partners. Being intentional that way can go a long way to building connections with your future partners. If you go to mpdandsocialmedia.wordpress.com, and then you crawl on down here to create an online presence. You scroll down here. First it shows you how to update your Give profile, and then here it shows about how to create a GCX site. And so GCX is something hosted by Crew, powered by WordPress, but this way you can make it private, password protected if you needed to. So this shows you how to build it, how to go through it, and it, it's all set up where it already has a Give, links to the Give site, and all of that kind of information. So if you absolutely feel like, no, I need to take that next step and I need to build a website, you can do that. Like I said, I did the Give site. I think it is plenty. But if you really feel like you want to, that is a tool that can help you. All right. Facebook lists. Oops, am I pushing my screen here? Okay, here. Okay, Facebook lists. So Facebook lists can be used in so many different ways. The first is to customize your privacy settings. So when you create different lists, then you can set up who will see what, pictures, tags, posts, all of those things based around your list. So it can be really helpful and custom. That you could look through. I'm just going to go to Ellis here. And so, sorry, I messed up.
Stacy.
I just sent her a message. Let's see if she gets it.
It can be. Oh, okay.
All right, somehow I got muted.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm unmuted now.
You might want to repeat the last 5 minutes.
Oh no. So what's the thing you guys heard?
You were just starting to go into Facebook groups and lists,
Okay.
and then we lost you.
All right. Um, all right. So Facebook lists. Okay, so Facebook lists are fantastic for customizing your privacy settings so that in Facebook you can determine who can see posts, pictures, status updates, tag pictures, anything else. And then it's great for focusing on a certain group of people to stay in the NPD mode, and it's also great for communicating on a focused people. So when you're making an NPD post, you could just go here and go to custom, and then put in specific people, and then enter in like, you know, I have an NPD update. So everybody that I want to see my NPD, I think I did, but just in case I didn't, it's an important little piece of information. You're going to add a referral. Once you get your referrals, here in NPDX, you just click this Add Referrals button, and this whole little kind of. So, communicate with your partners. The first is sending a physical prayer letter. I know I talked about this, and I'm just going to reiterate it. I am digital in every way, shape, and form in my life. I do everything online. But I realized that I had dear friends who I support, who I love, about anything I asked. I don't have any more contact to share with you. So, any other questions? Who really care about the ministry, who really care about people who are totally digital and not reading these prayer letters online. Who is? And so, you know, you always want a physical prayer letter. It gets prayed for, it gets put up on the refrigerator, it gets read over and over again. These are the types of communications that are most important. And so I want to go ahead and show you some of the integrations in NPDX that help you with prayer letters. So here, if you go here on NPDX, you go up to Settings, to the little gear button, and then you press Integrations. You'll see these, prayerletters.com and Chalkline. And so both of these are online prayer letter services. I'm sure that Ellis talked some about them in his direction. And so, you know, the same thing here. God is going to do so much in your lives over the next period of time. Database of your information online, and so you just so basically you create a sync between the two. Chalkline does not, and so with Chalkline you just press Send Paper Newsletter List, and when you do that, it's going to create this email. Father God, thank you so much for this group of people, and I pray, Father, that they would really be able to running. I know that many of them are weary after travel and a long week of training, but this is the time. This is the time. And so I pray, Father, that you give them supernatural strength and energy and excitement and courage, especially, and then you're able to easily send it on to others. And so those are some of the integrations that's really helpful. And then I want to talk through how you set up your prayer letter list. So if you go to your contacts page here, I think the easiest are to go to your partners, you know, the people that have become partner financial.
See everybody.
All right, goodbye, partner pray. Oops. So I'm going to look up all of those people. I'm going to show 1,000. Everybody's showing. And then I press select all, go to actions, edit fields. And right here I can just change all of this, physical, email, both. And so you can right here in one little swoop add everybody to your newsletter list. Or what's more likely is you'll be adding people as you go along the way. You'll meet with people. They'll say, yes, I want to partner with you financially, and so you're going to add them to the prayer letter list. Or they'll say, you know, hey, we can give a special gift, and you'll add them to the prayer letter list. Or they'll say, no, we can't give, but we'd like to pray. You'll add them to the prayer letter list. They'll say, we can't right now, but maybe in the future. You'll add them to the prayer letter list. And so as you go, you'll be building this list of, of people that are receiving your prayer letter. And so if you want to look at that list, you just go down here to newsletter recipients, and you can choose all,